Justin Gazepa, Spills on the Sticks, switching up the game today. Because we got Eli Yacinthe in the studio right now. Here's the jam. If you love me like you say. This is it. Come on up. Step up to the mic here, Eli.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Justin.
No problem. Anytime. So I got this poster here. You've got a farewell concert you're doing here, the Upper Room, downtown Statesville, August 25th. Tickets are $20, cash or Venmo. Dude, you're a jammer.
Man, I love it, dude. I've been having so much fun with the band these past, few years. Just seems to get bigger and bigger every time. But
this has a Gary Clark Jr. vibe to it.
Yeah, it's actually a Gary Clark Jr. song.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
see, I'm learning. See, there you go.
Well,
okay.
I can't remember who originally did this song, but Gary Clark Jr. was the first guy I heard cover this song. So,
what made you get into music?
I would say I've always been musical. Definitely grew up as a little boy in the church, listening to my mom sing harmonies, and really just locked into those and learned how to harmonize. And then when I was 10, my dad taught me how to play guitar, which I hated. I hated guitar.
No.
Yeah, I did not like it.
You're pretty good at it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I eventually fell in love with it when I stopped being able to feel in my fingers. Then it got easier at that point.
Can you read music too?
Yeah, I can pretty slowly, but yeah, something I'm working on up at school. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you play other instruments, or is it just guitar right now for you, pretty much? Or
Yeah, I play some bass and I sing as well. And,
Okay.
I can dabble on the piano.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to eventually be able to play because you got a 9-person band coming here on the
Yes, sir.
25th? Do you want to be able to eventually play all these instruments? Is that kind of the goal? Or
I don't know about that.
Yeah?
Just maybe do the ones I play really well.
Okay.
So
who are some of the artists that have inspired you over the years? You mentioned your mom, obviously,
Right,
which is
right.
fantastic. But what are some other artists that have inspired you?
yeah. Well, locally speaking, Tanya Wood, Josh Perryman, Stephen Winger. Have been some people who really brought me up in the community playing, but I would say like Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder is a huge one, just as far as his band and the way that they work with that unit mentality, which is something I talk about a lot, especially with such a large group. That's so important because it can get messy real quick if people aren't sort of listening and playing together as a cohesive unit.
Now, where'd you grow up at?
I was born and raised in Statesville.
In Statesville.
Yeah, Iredell
Statesville
Hospital.
native.
Yeah.
That's it. Iredell
Yeah,
Health.
yeah.
Oh shoot! Right there. Hartness Road?
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah,
Across from Lowry Drug.
in
You know. There you
2000,
go.
yeah.
Wow. In 2000. Okay, so that makes you 23 years old.
Yes,
When's your
sir.
birthday?
June 20th.
June 20th. So happy belated
Yeah,
birthday.
thank
We're a
you.
little bit behind on that. That's our bad. My bad. So 23 years old, doing big things in music. What's the goal here? Are you wanting to take the world by storm and travel and hit the road and do that whole scene?
Yeah, well, I definitely wanna be on tour, and I think other than music, social justice is a huge part of what I do and my calling. And one of the things I love about music is its power to bring people together. So there's really only so much I can do, but bringing people together and watching what they can do, when it becomes exponential at that point. So.
And so when you get on the stage, right, because it's entertainment, right? Like you've got to entertain people. That's just part of the game, and you obviously have a natural gift at it. What is it when you get up there? Like, what's that feeling? Is it like butterflies in the stomach? Is it like kind of dizziness, or you're in the mode and you get it?
Yeah, so it used to be some of those butterflies. I don't really get too nervous now. I don't know. I don't know if it's like that for everybody, if it's just something that you kind of grow out of. There's definitely moments when I feel nervous, but when I'm first getting up on stage, I'm just excited to play with the guys. And I think having a band too definitely helps that. It's a little bit different ball game than being up there by yourself. But yeah, it's a rush, man. It's a rush.
So nine band members here. Do you know all these band members?
Oh,
or is it
these
all
are all my
people?
buddies. Yeah, these are all
Yeah?
my buddies. Yeah, for sure.
And so how did it start? Like, give me the early roots of Eli Yacinthe, and what was your first gig?
Yeah, so my first gig was actually Tanya Wood, a great local musician, pulled me in and had me play with her and Josh Perryman and do some jams over at it used to be it was
Okay.
Ristos before they closed. And yeah, and then from there I just kind of took off with it and started reaching out and booking places. So
And then now, as you've progressed, what's kind of the next road here? So you've got this what we're calling farewell, but we told everybody it's not that you're retiring from
Yeah.
music or anything like
No,
that.
no.
So what's kind of the game plan going forward for you?
Yeah, so I got 2 more years left at Berkeley with the summer semester in the middle. So I plan to finish up at Berkeley, and then I'm gone for at least 6 months, just traveling the world and seeing, exploring, um, just with all those connections I make there. And then after that, I really hope to be on tour, man.
So you're doing the practical thing of like after school and playing shows and doing all that, yet you're still in school. What's the value you see of staying at the college and continuing to grow your almost educational side of this?
Right. Well, I think as far as my playing goes, there's a lot to be said for what Berkeley has to offer. I would not tell somebody that they need to be at that school in order to learn how to play their instrument. But one of the biggest takeaways I see from it is just the community, the people that you'll meet, because you never know where they're going to be in 5 years. There's a lot of great people. Boston as a city too. There's over 100 colleges in Boston itself, and at Berkeley alone, there's students from over 100 different countries. So I mean, just the diversity and the range of people that you meet, the talent is pretty wild. So that's one of the biggest takeaways for sure.
There's culture to it.
Right? Yeah.
Music is big with culture. Know the Scene is our arts and culture show we host every Tuesday here on WSIC. The concept of culture in music, how would you describe the current atmosphere?
Oh man, I it's so diverse, and it's interesting because the thing is that there's only, at least in Western music, there's only so many notes. You know what I mean? So you're working with, what is it, like 9 notes or something like that. Um, so I would say that it's so diverse, but it's all the same at the same time. I mean, once you have a basic understanding of harmony and you're able to latch on to these different sounds, you can play with anybody from anywhere. Regardless of if there's a language barrier or whatever it may be. So I think yeah, it's just bringing people together. And yeah.
When you process, like, do you write your own music? Do you like to write music? What's that like for you?
Yeah, I do. I've actually been in kind of a dry spell here. I have a lot of stuff that I have some stuff released on Spotify and Apple Music. But as far as writing goes, I've been in a little bit of a dry spell. But that's okay. I really like. I've been listening a lot to. I don't know if you're familiar with Rick Rubin. He's produced like everybody from Johnny Cash to you know um, Red Hot Chili Peppers. But one of my favorite kind of quotes from him is, or kind of ideologies is, that it's not about learning how to be creative, but to live a life that makes being creative inevitable. And I'm like, I'm all for that right now. Just sort of doing what makes me happy and letting the music come out when it comes out and not trying to force it when it doesn't, because that just means I really don't have anything to write about at the moment.
Well, and I think your style of music, which I like about it, because again, it's jam, and you probably could just get up on a stage and probably play for like what's the longest like you could just play? You think 2 hours, 3 hours, just let it go, or what do you think?
Probably four. I've done some 4-hour gigs back in the day when I was doing solo stuff.
4 hours? You talking
Yeah.
about your fingers going numb, man?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
yeah.
That's just the hand. Like, do you even feel anything at that point, or
No,
is
I
it?
mean, my hands will get tired for sure, but my fingertips pretty much don't hear it or feel anything. Got some beats going in there.
Yeah, sorry, that's our bumper music. We're
Oh, there you
sorry, Bill the Bumper's
I
on the
was
phone
like,
right
all right,
now.
we got the club in here now.
No. We're gonna go to break, Radio Fam. Digital Fam, we're gonna stick with you though. We are live on the Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, on WSICnews.com. So we will stick with our digital fam through the break. Radio Fam, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Eli Yacinthe here. Am I saying Yacinthe? Yacinthe.
Yacinthe, yeah.
Yacinthe,
Yeah, I
okay.
just help people yawn and synth like synthesizer.
There you go. Eli Yacinthe. You can check him out on Instagram, Eli Yacinthe Music. Also, keep in mind, he's got that show coming up August 25th. It's at the Upper Room in downtown Statesville, August 25th. Tickets are $20. It's a steal, and it's a great show. You're going to want to check it out. 844-STUDIO-4 if you want to be part of the conversation. Bill's on the phone with somebody. I don't know who. We're coming right back, Radio Fam. Like, what's your favorite spot in Statesville, like food-wise? Like, what do you do, like, for grub?
Well, it's so different now because I've been vegetarian now for about like 9 months.
Vegetarian?
So, yeah, so my kind of go-tos have changed, but I mean, I'm always in support of the downtown businesses. We got a lot of good restaurants on there. Kelly Simcoe at 220 Cafe. I love going over to Delaney's for some of those fresh chips and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I love Katana. Katana. If you
Yeah.
ever been there,
Yeah.
yeah, they have some good stuff. Yeah, not I'm like drawing blank now of the places in
It's okay.
state.
I put people on the spot, man. It's
Yeah,
just what I
no,
do. It's
yeah.
okay. So whenever you think about music and you think about kind of the style you want to be, do you think you're hitting the mark of the style you want to be at, or do you see like yourself like is it always changing to you?
It's definitely always changing, but I mean, I love the polarity of the situation right now because I've got really like my own produced music, which is mostly me in my bedroom, recording and mixing and doing all that stuff. I'll have friends come in and track parts, and then I got the live band, and they're definitely different sounds. I mean, a lot of my stuff I've been releasing, honestly, has been more on the hip hop kind of, not even electronic side, but um sort of towards that realm, whereas the live band is really jam band, live instrumentation, a lot of thick horn parts with some of that complex harmony, that a lot of jazz influence there. So
What do you who's your all-time favorite number one? You said Stevie Wonder. So is Stevie Wonder going to be like your number one forever, you think?
I would say, well, it depends on for what, as far as like a band leader and also just as a person, Stevie Wonder's definitely up there. But I mean, I love Marcus King. If you're familiar with Marcus King, Tedeschi Trucks band. Um, I feel like those are some other guys that are definitely doing it right. As far as just music in general, I love like Erica Badu. I love D'Angelo. I grew up on James Taylor, Jim Croce, all those guys. So
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't pick just one.
When you think about Statesville and the music scene there, do you think where do you think the future goes for Statesville in the arts and cultural scene?
Yeah, I think it's honestly there's so much going on there right now, especially with downtown. I would just love to see people come out more. I mean, it's as fertile as that scene is. We've got like Danny Kerr, we've got like so many people coming up um, in the scene. Um, I would just I would just love to see people come out more because there is great music being played. Just wish there were bigger audiences for that.
There you go. We're joining back with our radio fam right now, digital fam.
Yeah, I'm cool, I know the rules.
Good morning, OKN.
Said don't never run around.
Justin Gazepis, Bills on the Sticks.
Said don't never stay out late.
We've got Eli Yacinthe in the studio right now. This is his jam. What's this one called?
Same one.
Same
yeah,
one.
Yeah, it's the same one.
If You Love Me Like You Say. That Gary Clark Jr.
Let me tell you, pretty baby.
You're pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I'm gonna say
Eli's got a show coming up August 25th at the Upper Room, downtown Statesville. 9-person band. Can 9 people fit in there?
Yeah, they got it's a really nice space. They got nice couches. They got a big old stage, and I mean, just for reference too, that was 5 of us. So we got 4 more members on this full band show. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So when people come to your show, how do you want them to act? Do you want them on the couches just sitting back, or do you want them up like throwing hands up? What do you like style-wise from the crowd? What do you want from them?
I love the high energy, man, and that's one of the things I love about Boston is a lot of the shows are smaller because there'll be basement shows and whatnot, but it's like you get 150 kids packed into a basement and it's just tight and everybody's sweating, but everybody's there, and I think yeah, I'm definitely the one for the high energy. Like I played a lot of, especially in Charlotte, a lot of long gigs, where people will be like 100, 200 feet away from me, and it definitely is a different feeling. So I like people to get up, right on the edge of the stage and dance and scream and holler, and so yeah.
Do you have family still in Statesville, or what's
Oh,
that like for you?
yeah, a ton of family, a ton of family. A lot of my siblings have stayed in Statesville, which I think I'm working on now, like 11 or 12 of those. So with all my step family and my that good stuff, and got a lot of nieces and nephews in town, and so yeah.
Talk to me about what it's like being an actual artist. You're going through these motions of getting gigs and producing and going to school and just living a normal life. Give some advice to the other up and coming artists who are wanting to even step foot into and don't know how. Give them some advice as far as like for how it can be successful because you're obviously doing some things right.
I appreciate that. Yeah, my biggest advice that I would give is to be yourself. And I know that sounds pretty corny and cliche, but it's so true. I mean, I think there's a lot, especially in today's landscape, there's a lot of this, kind of doing or playing what you think other people want to hear. And um, I think that really takes a toll on you. And the more genuine you can be to yourself, people are gonna like what some people are gonna like what you do, some people aren't, and that doesn't matter what kind of music you make. So definitely make what moves you and what you love, and let the audience that appreciates that come to you.
Throughout your day, do you just like see notes, like music notes flying around, or like or do you play video games? Like, what else do you do besides music?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know, honestly. I especially this summer, it's been different, but I love to just spend time with my family. I love being outdoors. I love to swim. I love going to the lake and hanging out. Yeah, no, I don't see any music notes, but I get lots of melodies stuck in my head, so
Yeah.
you'll always catch me whistling or humming somewhere. So
Okay, there
uh,
you go. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
You gotta, it just gets ingrained, I imagine, into your DNA.
yeah.
What's your most earliest music memory? Your most earliest music memory?
Honestly, it's gotta be I had growing up. I loved the drums, and my mom got me, one of those little first act, like little tiny baby drum kits. And
Run
I
around
can,
in the diaper,
oh
just
yeah, I
yeah.
can remember like getting a string and tying it on one of the drums, putting it around my neck, and walking around like I was in the drum line. And I had to be, could have been like 3, 4 years old. So
So drums, is that on the list of instruments to play at some
I,
point, or
I would like to get a drum set and work on that. Yeah, I can hold my own on the drums, but definitely no claim to be a drummer.
whenever you're kind of in your zone, is it usually in quiet, or do you like thinking through processing concepts with groups and multiple people kind of throwing ideas out? How do you like to process?
Yeah, it's weird because like definitely there's something to be said for playing by yourself, just in your room. I feel like that's when you do a lot of your best work, just uninhibited. A lot of times there can be a switch that just turns on when as soon as you get in front of people, where you start to think about it. And at that point, you're not as likely to play what you feel, but more so what you think might sound good, or kind of you'll develop, a lot of go-tos that you go to every time. So it can be real repetitive in that way. At the same time, if you're on the stage with guys like my friend Peter Ricardo Jr., the key player for the 25th. I mean, he's like a genius, and some of the stuff that he lays down will just inspire stuff that just comes out of me. Notes I wouldn't even think about. So there's something to be said for both scenarios.
Is that what people can expect, that you guys will just might hit a rhythm and it just take you somewhere, and regardless of what you had on your set list, it doesn't matter. You guys are in the moment.
Oh yeah, these guys a lot of these guys are jazz guys, like my bass player, my keys player, my drummer. They do a lot of free stuff, so definitely gets real experimental, but they have great ears. So yeah.
I see you on your Instagram again, Eli Yacinthe Music. You can check him out on his Instagram.
Yeah, and for those wondering too, if you just type in ELIYAC, it'll be the first one that pops up if you don't know how to spell the last name.
When you're with a crowd, do you energize with the crowd? You say you like the energy, or is it more just the atmosphere is high energy, so you can just kind of get in this zone?
I would say that I have a lot to do with the energy in the room, because I mean, even if it's a quiet crowd, like I'll still be feeling the music. You know what I mean? Especially when it's less so when I guess I would do like solo gigs and stuff. That could get a little discouraging sometimes. But when I'm playing with the guys, we're having fun. And these, like I said, these are my buddies. So just like hanging out with your friends.
Do you hope to be able to play like with your friends forever, or do you see it like, are you looking to collaborate with other artists as time goes on too?
Oh, I'd love to collaborate with other artists, but I kind of want to change the landscape of touring, which I feel like a lot of times can be pretty alienating. Whereas I think community is a huge aspect to me. So I want to be touring one day with, people who I know and love and trust. And um, that's definitely something that's super important to me.
What's your least favorite part about touring right now?
Well, I mean, I have currently have not been on tour. before. So, but I think for me, off the top of my head, I think just taking care of your health, from what I hear from a lot of people, can be hard, whether that be mental or physical health. Just making sure you're eating right, making sure you're
Bunch
taking
of
care of your body.
cheeseburgers all the time.
Yeah, being up late every night, sleeping on the bus, definitely can get taxing on you. So
No doubt. What's been your favorite venue you've played thus far?
that's hard. I mean, I actually played at the Grand Ole Opry. When
No.
when I was like 16, 17. Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played at the Grand Ole Opry. That was pretty cool. Nashville Winery as well.
That had to have been an experience.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was awesome just being backstage and seeing like all these artists, rooms, and it was wild. But definitely there. I also really enjoyed. We did Merle Fest for the first time not too long ago. So
Great show.
yeah, those were definitely awesome.
So when you think about like potentially blending, like in the way you do your music and the way you put things together, would you ever want to try like mixing up some type of music together that hasn't been done? Like, do you see it creatively like that? Like, hey, let's change music in the sense of like almost a new genre, or no, do you just more like, hey, we're going to stay in a category and we're going to stay with it?
No, 100%. I love classical music. I want to write some classical pieces. I love newgrass too, which is kind of a fusion of bluegrass and jazz. Some guys have done that, like Tony Rice is one, David Grisman, but I don't think that genre itself has really been pushed too far. So I'd love to bring in some more of that jazz influence to the bluegrass scene and work on some of that with my friend Jonah Horton. But yeah, I definitely want to pioneer some new styles and roll with that.
What's your pregame? Like, do you down a Red Bull before you get on stage? Like, what's your routine?
Nah, I stay away from that caffeine, man. But no, I like to meditate. Honestly, I like to be by myself for a little bit and do some breaths. And then actually, when I get on stage, I'll do breaths with the crowd too. Just that's more for me, really. I always tell the crowd, we're gonna so everybody can. But it's really because I'm like, if I'm shaking in my boots, I need to calm down for a second. But
you do yoga in the middle of the stage? Like, you'll just pop out some
oh,
yoga moves?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe not fully yoga, but just sort of that, like, breathing and just getting, because there is something to be said for, like, your intention. And when you get on stage, if you just roll right into it, I mean, it can be night and day from if you take a minute to really calm yourself and, like, try and bring yourself to that place that you'd be if you were just in your room alone.
You ever done hot yoga before?
I haven't.
Dude, you gotta try hot yoga.
You gotta try hot yoga?
Yeah, like
Okay.
it's hot. It's not the most comfortable of settings.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a good sweat and a good stretch.
Right.
I got kicked out. I'm not allowed back
Oh,
anymore.
man.
But it's
Sweating
okay.
too much?
No, well, kind of. I sweat a lot. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate that. Eli Yacinthe Music on Instagram. Do you have a band website?
We do not right now. There's a link on my Instagram to my link tree, which has like it'll take you to all our different videos and that good stuff. Some of my music videos I've done recently and whatnot.
Okay, Eli, you're about to go back to school. You're going to take the world by storm. What do you want to tell people as we finish up this segment right here? Give them something to inspire them to come out and see you on August 25th at the Upper Room.
Yeah, if you want to see 9 musicians work together as a unit and make some great music and do some stuff on the fly, definitely come out. I would say whatever you do, though, support live music. Find some musicians in your community who you really care about, and go help them feel seen. So
appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, thanks so much, Justin.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, LKN. We've been hanging out with Eli Yacinthe. August 25th, the Upper Room, downtown Statesville. Tickets are $20. Let's jam on out of
Yes,
here.
sir.